Two top productivity tools, both with loyal fans. One big question: which one really delivers? On the left, Roam Research, the networked note-taking powerhouse. And on the right, Jira, the agile project management staple for modern teams. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real stuff. Each category earns points, and at the end, you'll see exactly who comes out on top. The result might not be what you expect. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to break this down into 7 major categories: core purpose, collaboration and teamwork, project management and workflow, knowledge management and linking, price and plans, integrations and extensibility, and finally, user experience and interface. So imagine this as our little mind map. Each category gets its own spotlight. Cool, right? So first up is core purpose. Roam Research, it's all about capturing your ideas, making connections between thoughts, kind of like how your brain jumps from one topic to another. You get bidirectional links, you get a graph. It's pretty much a playground for anyone doing research or deep thinking. But, and this is key, it's not really built for project tracking. So if you want hard deadlines or task boards, it feels a bit off. Now, Jira? Oh man, Jira was born for managing projects, tracking issues, and helping teams stay on top of, well, everything. It's got Scrum boards, Kanban, and is basically the default for software teams. It's a powerhouse. Bottom line, Jira pretty much nails its core purpose if you care about project work. Winner here, well, you guessed it, Jira takes this one. Next, collaboration and teamwork. With Roam, you can edit notes at the same time as someone else, and they're slowly adding more sharing features. But let's be real, it's not really built for big teams. Plus, tossing your graph around kind of raises eyebrows for privacy, you know? On the flip side, Jira is kind of legendary here. You've got all these granular permissions, tons of integrations, and yeah, enterprise-grade controls, which means huge teams and tons of stakeholders can all work together in one place. Of course, as your team grows, Jira's complexity does too, but that's almost part of the charm for bigger orgs. This round, Jira, by a mile. Project management and workflow. Roam, honestly, you can use it for basic task lists, especially with some community plugins, but out of the box, nah. There's no official tracking, dependencies, or agile boards. You might hack it, but it's not really the right tool for the job. But Jira, this is its home turf. From planning sprints, tracking issues, automating workflows, to running retros and releases, it does it all. And then some. You might even think, whoa, is this too much for my side hustle? But if you have more than a few teammates, that power is addictive. So yeah, Jira sweeps this category. Oh, and here's something cool you might not know. Roam lets you literally see your notes as a living, breathing graph, almost like a digital brain doing its thing. Jira, meanwhile, it first dropped way back in 2002, and seriously, it's still powering the world's busiest teams. Just a little fun fact to keep things spicy. All right, switching gears, let's talk knowledge management and linking. Now, this is where Roam absolutely shines. If you're into connecting ideas, bidirectional links, and literally mapping your knowledge with a graphical view, Roam feels like magic. It's like your personal wiki, but with superpowers. Some folks, though, end up a bit lost with all those links. So heads up, it's addictive and a little overwhelming. As for Jira, it does have wiki features and documentation, especially when teamed up with Confluence, but the connections are more straightforward, not nearly as organic or visual. So for creative thinking and exploring concepts, Roam wins this one. Moving on to price and plans. So Roam is $15 a month if you're solo, and yeah, there's an annual discount and even student rates. Love that. Weirdly, there's no free tier, just a 31-day trial. For teams though, it gets pricey, and some collaboration features are limited at the lowest tier. Now, Jira is interesting. There's a solid free tier for smaller teams, and then it scales up based on user count and feature set. But let's face it, those real enterprise tools are locked behind more expensive plans. So you'll pay if you want all the bells and whistles. For most people, it's kind of a tie. Depends on your needs. Integrations and extensibility. Okay, so Roam does have some API stuff, and you can mess around with plugins and even GPT-3 support, which is pretty cool, but it's kind of limited, especially when you compare it to the big guns in project management. On the other hand, Jira's basically king in this realm. massive API ecosystem, hooks into hundreds of apps, and a whole marketplace full of automations and reporting tools. But, fair warning, making it work just right can get technical, and you'll probably need someone who likes wrestling with admin settings. Easy win here, Jira. Last up, user experience and interface. Roam's got this minimalist vibe, super fluid, with navigation that just feels natural. It kind of works how your brain works if you're into linked notes. But, not gonna lie, there's a learning curve if you're new to the whole graph thing. Jira, though, it's all structured dashboards. Boards you can customize, which, if you're managing projects, feels pretty intuitive. But if you're just taking notes or journaling, it can get a little cluttered. So for the general day-to-day ease, Roam does have the edge. All right, looking at all our categories on the big radar chart, it's pretty clear. Jira straight up dominates project management, workflow, and collaboration, while Roam totally owns it for creative knowledge linking and interface. Price is neither here nor there. It really depends on what you need most. So here's my honest take. If you're the kind of person who loves brainstorming, building your own knowledge network, or doing academic/research work, Roam Research is your jam. But if it's about leading a team, shipping product features, running sprints, or keeping every detail buttoned up, Jira is in a league of its own. One's a digital mind map, the other's the backbone of productivity for modern teams. If you liked this matchup and want more tool comparisons, let me know what apps you want to see next. Seriously, it's your turn. Hit that comment box and we'll put the next set under the microscope.